Well, over the last 6 years, Otago Polytechnic has been trying to become more sustainable through a range of initiatives. Now staff are demonstrating what they've achieved in a sustainable practice showcase, and Program Manager Steve Henry joins us to talk about it. Good evening, Steve.
Hello.
Looking very summery, I must say. It's a beautiful day out there.
Isn't it?
Very nice indeed. What's happening as part of the showcase?
Oh, well, we thought it was just time to let everyone know what we're doing, really.
Who are you wanting to be involved?
Well, I mean, anyone can pop down, but primarily it's designed for staff within the institution at the moment because it's a pretty quiet time of year.
Yes.
So it's a time to pop in and celebrate what's been achieved.
What are the major initiatives that you've managed to implement?
Well, I think two things. One is the beginning of implementing sustainable practice into every piece of teaching that gets done. So every qualification. So that's no mean feat. And also things like getting our operations a lot cleaner, getting coal out of the system and using wood chips instead, for example, and heating. So that's reduced our footprint enormously.
How have they changed things on campus?
Well, you know, if anyone's been there recently, there's a major building program going on of making spaces a lot more social and fit for purpose. There's a lot of work going on around energy efficiency and waste minimisation through supply chain management, really looking at where we buy our things from and why, and trying to localise with what we do.
Tell us about the Polytechnic Pledge that was made in 2009.
Well, it was a simple pledge. It essentially said, let's do the right thing. And I think most of us are sick of the take, make, waste mentality and buying cheap stuff that ends up in the landfill, and well, can't we do better than that? It's time to get cyclic in the way we do things. So let's build things for disassembly and design things better and just get smarter about how we do things.
Have expectations been reached thus far into the plan?
Oh, I think it's fair to say they've been exceeded because we've had a lot of international and national attention on what we're doing, and people have asked us for a lot of training. So we've responded with specialist training programs that we run around the country now. And you know, over 100 organisations throughout New Zealand have been through our Adding Sustainable Value program, for example, for organisations. So yeah, we're very proud of the start we've made. It's going to take a long time, but we're pleased.
Are you ahead of other tertiary institutions in terms of their sustainability?
Well, I think we're interested in measuring ourselves against ourselves ahead of what others are doing, but we are very interested in partnering with others so we can exchange. Rather than saying we're better, they're worse. It's more like, well, they've got something we can learn from and we've got something, but others tell us we're doing very well.
Tell us about some of your plans for the future.
Well, our ideal future looks like we're working with individuals around behaviour change, we're working with organisations around culture change within those organisations, and then looking at system change. So, for example, the food system in Otago, and most of our food's imported into here, apart from the local farmers market, for example. So we've just done a big analysis on the farmers market, the first big one in New Zealand to get done, and you know, so we're interested in systemic change, which makes it easier for everybody to participate in things. I mean, you know, there's a lot of change coming with electric vehicles and electronics and technology changing the way we do things. So it's possible to have a lot, to live with a lot lower footprint and a lot better lifestyle, actually, rather than it just being about having less. It's about how can we have more and more effectively. How
are students being encouraged to take a sustainable approach?
Well, through their coursework primarily. I mean, and so we began planning that anyone who turned up on an Otago Polytechnic program would be exposed to thinking more broadly about the area they're in. But you know, you don't tell the nurses and the occupational therapists and the designers and the engineers. They all have their specialist vocations, and it's asking what does a sustainable practitioner look like in each of those, which is a very good question and one that's taking a while to answer.
Otago Polytechnic Program Manager Steve Henry, thank you very much for your time.
Nice to see you. Thanks.